So this upper link is not going to come anywhere close to hitting the exhaust. So that is perfect. And then it's just a straight shot. Ow. Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again today. If you've been following along, you know that I've been working on this rear end and getting these wheel wells slash tubs built and put in. And now I've got the seams all sealed up, so everything is gonna be mostly weatherproof and watertight. and I've got it masked off now because today I'm gonna be applying Raptor Liner to this entire back end. So in the beginning there, you saw me vacuuming this out, and then I scuffed it with some 80 grit sandpaper, and I've washed it with some wax and grease remover. And the next thing I'm gonna do is hit it with this epoxy primer. It's got an activator in the bottom of the can, so it's real epoxy. Pretty nasty stuff. And then the Raptor Liner is the same way. It's got an activator in it, so the two parts mixed together in the can. I guess you can't spray bare metal with the Raptor Liner, so it's got to be primed. Now, I've been accused of being kind of lax in my PPE, and breathing in dust is one thing, but breathing in epoxy aerosols, that would be really bad. That could really screw up your lungs. So I've got a more serious respirator for this part of the job. This is all cured now. I went over it with some 400 grit sandpaper, and then I let it dry for over 12 hours. So now it's time to actually apply the Raptor Liner. So since this is an epoxy product, it's got an activator here in the bottom. So you take this and you put it on here, and this is actually going to combine the two products within the can. There we go. So you can see that's activated now. Got to shake it some more. So the two things in the can are combining. Epoxy is a two-part process. So, and I only have an hour to use this, because then I assume it's going to turn into a solid block inside the can. But all right, well, Raptor lining in the back is now complete. I managed to go through 3 of these cans. They don't go very far, especially considering how much they cost, which is like 40 or 50 bucks a can. So yeah, 3 of those cans to just do the back of the FJ. I can't imagine how much you'd have to do to get like to do a whole truck bed. That would be crazy. Anyways, here it is. It lays down nice and smooth. I think it looks pretty good. It's not totally cured yet, so I'm gonna take it easy on it. I haven't taken down the plastic yet. But yeah, not bad. Now, I understand that there are other colors available, but I just went with what I could get locally, and that was black. And that's basically because I live in the middle of nowhere in eastern Idaho, and they had black. So there you have it. I guess ideally, maybe I would have gone with white, but this works great. Black goes with everything. All right, guys, with the back all done, it's time to dig into the exhaust. So you may recall, if you've been following along, that my old factory exhaust manifolds and catalytic converters, they hung down really far and actually interfered with my lower links in the front. These lower links right here, they hang down and get too close to the links, and also on the driver's side, too close to that drive shaft. So those don't work out too well. And I guess it is possible, if you want to keep the cats working, you can cut them off and switch the sides and then clock them just right. And there's a way to make them fit, but I've decided just not to do that. Anyways, here are the headers that I'm going to install. They do away with the cat, obviously. This is a 2 1/4 inch opening, which I need to reduce to a 2 inch. The factory exhaust after the cats is 2 inch, and then after they join, after the crossover, it goes to 2 1/2 inch into the muffler. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's going to be 2 inch out of each side, and then when it joins back together before the muffler, it'll be 2 1/2. So I just need to get these welded onto these headers, which might be a little bit tricky. These headers are stainless steel. This is mild steel, and I don't have the special gas that's recommended for welding to stainless steel, but from what I've gathered, it's possible to weld mild steel to stainless steel just using regular MIG wire and the 75%, oh gosh, what are the gases? Carbon dioxide and argon. Yeah, and I guess if you throw helium into the mix, that's better for stainless steel, but I'm not going to do that for just this. It's exhaust, so it just needs to be sealed and stuck together. So that is what I'm going to do at this point. Oh, and that brings up the topic of O2 sensors. So here are the upstream O2 sensors on the factory manifolds and cats. So the only O2 sensors that have anything to do with engine control are the upstream O2 sensors. They measure the air and fuel that's coming out of the engine before the cat. And then the downstream O2 sensors, those just tell the computer how well the catalytic converters are performing. And so the only O2 sensors that the engine really needs are these upstream ones. So these new heads have bungs in them for O2 sensors, the upper O2 sensors, and then I'll have to put in bungs for the lower O2 sensors. And the computer will just think, oh, the cats aren't working. But in terms of functionality for the engine, it's going to get all the information that it needs from the O2 sensors mounted right here. Coatings are generally bad for welding, and so I'm cleaning these ends off with this wire brush. You can see there's this weird green stuff on these headers. I don't know if that's corrosion or some kind of mold. These headers came out of Florida, where it's very moist, and they've probably been sitting there for quite a while, because these headers are specifically for a very narrow range of vehicles, 2010 to 2012 FJ Cruisers, because they were making all kinds of changes from the 07-09, and then they made other changes in 13 and 14 in the exhaust. So yeah, very narrow. And I think these are the only headers that were available in the entire country that I could find. Well, that didn't go too badly. The stainless steel seemed to have some strange reaction, but overall didn't turn out too bad. So now I'm going to take these and just get them loosely bolted up to the engine and see if I can start making some exhaust fit. Alright, so this is on the passenger side, and the main concern here is this upper link and its interaction with the exhaust. So I've got this 45 right here I can stick on here, and then essentially from there on back, just a straight pipe, and it looks pretty good. I just need to make sure, I need to move the axle and make sure this upper link isn't going to hit the exhaust. And that is exactly the result I was hoping for. This third link is not going to come anywhere close to the exhaust. So that is perfect. And then it's just a straight shot back to where a muffler is going to be. So, yeah, straight shot back to here and back to there. The muffler is going to be right about there in the middle of the vehicle. So passenger side is going to be pretty simple. So this side is just a little bit different. Here's the exhaust up here, and instead of a third link, I've got my drive shaft right here, which doesn't travel a whole lot up and down by the time you get back here. So I'm going to try the same trick and just do the 45 elbow and then run the straight back to here. All right, well, this side is going to make me try a little bit harder, but it's not too bad. So this 45 just isn't quite sharp enough, and it doesn't come down. I think if I had a pipe come down a little further and then cut a 90 instead of a 45, right now it's kind of pointing down a little bit, and it's basically touching the drive shaft because it's pointing down. So I need to get the pipe to come up here more rather than being hanging down here. So I need to come up with something different here. I'll have to see what I can do there. So the plan on this side is for this pipe to come back here and then cross over through here behind the transmission and in front of the Atlas, and then come out here and meet up with the other pipe and go to the muffler. So I have the factory crossover, and I think I'm going to adapt that into this pipe to cross over because it's flat. It's flattened a little bit, and it already has the shape, so I think I'll be able to make that work. So you can see my transmission pan here and the oil pan right here, and you never realize how much these are offset from each other. The oil pan is actually offset over to the passenger side a lot more than you'd think. But I've got that 3/16 steel that I'm going to make a skid plate out of, and I'm going to have to adapt it a little bit up by the oil pan there. And that's going to connect with a bar going across under here over to the frame on both sides. And you can see why it's a little bit tricky. With this third link over here, it's got to come from the frame down and then connect to the skid plate here and still be out of the way of the third link and the exhaust that's going to be coming out of here. So yeah, even more to think about. I went ahead and removed the masking back here just so you can get a better idea of what this looks like. I really like it. I think it's pretty great. This is how I ride in the FJ 95, 99% of the time, with the back seats folded down like that, so I have maximum cargo space. I I can't remember the last time I ever had passengers in the back seat with me. So I like having all the cargo space. And yeah, looks pretty great. And no, I don't think I want to remove the rear seats. They don't really take up much space when they're folded down. So I'll keep them in there for now. As for this exhaust, I'm going to have to get a few more pieces to make that work. And it's a Saturday night in eastern Idaho, and that means that everything's closed until Monday. So yeah, we'll get working on that first thing Monday though, and should be able to knock that out pretty quick. Probably, maybe. All right, let's take a look at the list here. Front three links are done, coilover's done, rear coilover's done, front steering. Still need to do the hydraulic plumbing for the front steering, so that's half done. Replace front fenders, done. Fabricate body panels. We are, let's see, that much done with fabricating body panels. At the 3/4, see, we're missing one leg of the X. Because I've still got some body stuff to do up in the front of the FJ under the driver's seat. Painting. Oh, let's see. We're getting there. Front skid plate still has to get done. Battery relocation is done. All right. Brake lines. So what we have left is the front steering plumbing, a little tiny bit more body work, painting, which goes pretty quick at this point, and then this front skid plate and the brake lines and bump stops. And then of course this, which I know many of you are worried about, but I'm really not. So we're getting really, really close for real to getting this thing done. Yeah, so close, but so far. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. This build, as I've mentioned before and talked about a little bit before, it's taken a long time, and you know, that's okay. And it's almost done now. We're almost there. I'm going to be making trail videos again before you know it. I'm really excited to get back out on the road. This summer's been kind of a bust for events. I was hoping to make it to, well, I was hoping to make it to a few events this summer, but of course that never happened. But I was hoping to make it to Trail Hero, which is this week, if you're watching this on Monday, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. There's one more event that's happening before the end of the year that I know about, and I'm still holding out hope that I'll make it to that one. That's in October. But yeah, thanks for hanging in there with me on this long build. It's also getting a lot cooler here in eastern Idaho. We have a pretty hard winter here, and it is on its way. So that means when I do get back out on the road, I'm going to be heading south. So Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and then there's Southern California I need to hit. I'll still probably be able to hit a few places in Utah before it snows too bad, other than Sand Hollow. And then I'm planning on being in Maryland for Thanksgiving, so I'll probably work my way across the southeast. All of those plans have yet to be made and solidified, but that's kind of generally what I see happening. So if you know of any places to go off-road in Maryland and Virginia, let me know. My brother Frank lives out in Maryland, and he doesn't know of any off-roading out there, and it doesn't look like there's a lot of land that you can do that on. But if you know of some, let me know. If you enjoyed this one, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, so that I can join you every Monday and Thursday, and you can see this build fit out the garage door. And we'll see you next time, guys.